Hello, this is Robert Rickover at Body Learning, and today my guest is Mark Josephsberg, who's an Alexander Technique teacher in New York City. And in this very short podcast, Mark is going to interview me. So, Mark, take it away.
Okay, thank you very much, Robert. Robert, what is on the menu today?
I'm glad you asked, Mark. We're going to
Yes.
talk about a little bit of fundraising for, for this podcast to start off with, but in general for my various websites, alexandertechnique.com and quite a few others. And I was a little bit inspired by listening to a Freakonomics podcast, which is produced right in Gotham, where you live,
hmm
and they were asking for money, and being economists, they went and checked out all the studies on what are the effective ways to ask for money. Unfortunately, most of their suggestions I couldn't use. One of them being that if it's an in-person solicitation, young, good-looking blonde women are the way to go.
That
And
leaves us out.
that's
Completely leaves us
definitely
out.
leaves us out. And in any event, it only works on men. And most Alexander people, the majority, a large number, are women. So anyway, we can't do it. But I do want to ask for some support for funding the expenses and my time for maintaining and upgrading the various websites. And I know, for example, that a lot of people have found teachers through my site. A lot of people have shared information that's been useful. And if you're in that category, consider giving some kind of contribution to the site.
Right, and some people do believe that your site, alexandertechnique.com, is our site. Like it's like a AMSAT site, in other words, you know.
Oh, it's like a society site, or yeah.
Exactly.
No, it's just me here in Lincoln, Nebraska, in a studio in the back of my house.
Right. And
Um,
what specific expenses do you have? Do you want to talk about that?
well, the main thing right now is converting the remaining websites that have not been converted into WordPress so that they will be mobile friendly. As you probably know, we're getting to the point where pretty close to half of all internet searches are on handheld devices. And if your website isn't compatible with that, it's not easy to use. I have converted several, and there is a mobile version of alexandertechnique.com, which you get directed to if you go there. But there's still several that need to be converted, and there are some individual sections of the complete guide that I would like to try to get a mobile version of. In particular, the page on how to find a teacher. It would be really nice if that could be mobile friendly. And also the podcast home page and the various pages within that site, they too, they would be a very high priority for converting to WordPress, because a lot of people listen to these podcasts when they're commuting or in their cars or whatever on a smartphone. So those are the main things. My time, of course, is an issue. It does take a fair amount of time to do all this, and there are expenses of domain names and design work and that sort of thing. So those are the basic things. We're not talking about huge amounts of money here, but if everyone who was helped by this site contributed $10 or $20, it would all be taken care of in a day.
Hmm. And how can they contribute the 10, 20, or $1,000?
or $10,000. The easiest way is to go to alextechexpress.com and then /support. And on that page, you'll see the two most the two main ways. One is just to simply make a contribution using PayPal or your credit card. There's a support button, and you can use that. You can do that from any currency. And the other is, if you haven't already done so, when you buy stuff from Amazon, use my affiliate link, and that is a source of income for me too, and that's all explained on that page. So it's pretty easy. You can support my site at absolutely no cost to you, other than having to go through a two-step process to get to Amazon. Click on the site, then click on the Amazon link.
And you want to say that site again?
It's alextechexpress.com. I'll put a link to it by the podcast interview also. It's the mobile version of alexandertechnique.com. So if you and on the home page of alexandertechnique.com, you'll see a link to it. And if you go to alexandertechnique.com on a small device, you will be immediately redirected to that site anyway.
Right, okay.
So that's my pitch.
That's your pitch. Anything else you want to add to your
No.
pitch?
Oh, I do want to add one thing. Over the years, people have made spontaneous contributions, and I want to thank everyone who's done that. And a fair number of teachers are actually using my Amazon links, and that generates some money as well. So I'm very grateful to that, and I'm really just wanting to see if we can't bring in a little more money for these final conversions into WordPress. To me, it's a kind of a high priority. Ultimately, I would like all of my Alexander Technique website empire to be in WordPress format.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my pitch. And Mark, I appreciate all the support I've had from you over the years, for sure.
You're quite welcome, and also the support that alexandertechnique.com and all your sites do for all of us.
Well, thank you, and thank you for doing this.
Absolutely.